So there's a trap that we all face when we're embarking on a new project or a new venture, something that we have never done before. Um, and it's called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. If you can look that up, it's a known phenomenon that all humans do and it has to do with the way we approach things. What it is if you can imagine a graph where the vertical is confidence and the horizontal is competence. So what they find is that when we are the most confident is when we are the least competent. And the reason is when we don't know what's ahead, it seems really simple. It seems like, well, how hard could it be, right? I'm sure you've probably said that to yourself. I know I have. I think most people, especially if you're entrepreneurs, this is very familiar to you, where we start something new. And, thank goodness, in a sense, that we have the confidence, because you have to have the confidence to launch the thing, to start out and take action in faith. So this is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm pointing this out because being aware of it helps you not be at the mercy of it. And if we're at the mercy of it, it can sabotage our success. There's a couple of risks that come along. So what the Dunning-Kruger effect, the way it works is when we're the most confident is when we're the least competent. And then as we start doing and following along and going through the process of this new adventure, we start learning what we didn't know, and our confidence starts going down. And any of you who've ever learned anything, I'm sure this is not a surprise. Then there's a certain point which they'll call the valley of despair. It's the trough part of this graph where your competence is actually higher than it was at the beginning, but your confidence is way down because you realize, oh my God, this is so much harder and so much more complicated than I thought. I'm never going to get out of this. It can be, that's why they call it the valley of despair. And if you can push through that, a lot of people give up there, by the way, because they think this is it too hard. I can't do it. The prize goes to the ones who make it through that. Because as you gain confidence, what happens is you start climbing out, you start gaining confidence, which helps you climb out of that valley of despair and get up to, again, a higher level of confidence until ultimately you reach mastery, where you are both confident and competent. So, but this curve is a real thing. So the risks, in the context of a business and intellectual property or insurance or just legal advice in general. Probably the biggest risk is at the beginning when they have the most opportunity. They often, I'll say we, I'm not judging. We often feel safer than we are, so we don't invest in the protections that we need to protect our investment and our time and our future success. So when you feel safer than you are because your confidence is super high because you just don't know what you don't know, it's very easy to say, well, I don't want to invest in this insurance or that legal service because I feel good about it, right? Like, of course we feel good about it. We're at the beginning of that ignorance. So another one that happens is people believe that they can do it themselves because they're smart and capable. And again, that comes to, and this is not just for intellectual property, this is for other things as well. This might be insurance. They think it might be like investing, even like your financial planning, this is not limited to my field. This is, but the point is that like increasingly, we live in an increasingly complex world where technical experts can really, really help us maximize our opportunities and minimize our risks. So being aware of this Dunning-Kruger thing and aware that we might feel like it must be pretty simple, I'm smart enough to do it myself. Yes and no. There are certain things until you've done it, you don't know. And all of the research in the world, you can read 80,000 books on swimming, but the jumping in a pool is a whole different experience. You can't really swim until you've tried to swim. So research will only get you so far is the point. So another risk that I'm seeing even more now is people abdicate the thinking and the judgment to artificial intelligence. AI is super useful as a tool. Just be aware that if you abdicate your thinking to it, that is probably coming from a desire to oversimplify or a belief that things are simpler than they are. Be aware of the limitations of AI. Even if you're really good at writing prompts, use AI as a tool, but don't abdicate your inventing or your thinking to the artificial intelligence. Then another one is people sort of like doing it themselves, but they think about hiring their advisors just as like a pair of hands, like a commodity. So it's like, well, I just need someone that knows how to fill out the forms, and I can handle the rest. And that's really doing your future a disservice because, number one, that is likely to, like, I know I've had experiences where I get the feeling the client is telling me just little selected pieces of information because they are trying to manage what I do. And I can't help you if you don't tell me more. Like, the way to use your advisors is to tell them what you want. Hopefully they're asking you, and to use them as guidance, as in a more collaborative way. That's at least our approach and many of my colleagues. This is where you get the maximum value out of it. And yes, it will cost you a little bit more, but it will pay off in droves because, again, you don't know the way to use your advisors is you may be facing this valley of despair, but they're not, because these are people that are probably over there in mastery. They have done this before. They've helped other people do this before. So use your advisors. Have the recognition, even when you feel very confident, that there are things coming that are going to be a surprise. It's going to get discouraging. Just if you know that that's coming and you use your advisors in a collaborative way to help guide you and shepherd you through that, that is the way that you can actually use your awareness of the Dunning-Kruger effect to really supercharge your future success. It'll be faster, it'll be better, and probably greater if you don't allow the Dunning-Kruger effect to sabotage your success. So hopefully that's helpful. Catherine Cavella, IP Works Law. Thanks again.